Blog Talk Radio.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas. The first reports say that President Kennedy has been seriously wounded by this shooting.
It is a big idea, a new world order.
It was almost as if it were a planned implosion. It just pancaked.
Either you were with us or you were with the terrorists.
Everybody, Joseph Gibson podcasting here from Greensboro, North Carolina. Hopefully we'll have a good show here tonight. Now, last night we did a show, and we want to carry on from that show. We were talking about the Constitution and basically trying to restore the Republic. And towards the end of the show, it got into a little bit of a shouting match. I don't like to mute callers, but tonight I will. Now, everyone has a right here to speak on this platform. We don't have a guest here tonight, so it's open phone lines for everyone to join in and say what they have to say. Now, I'm not trying to rush people through what they have to say. However, there has to be some sort of moderator to the show, and people have to be respectful to what others have to say. Now, yelling and screaming over each other and talking about 1,000 different topics at one time is not going to work. I always ask people, what do you want to talk about? Bring it to the platform, and we'll do a show on it. Now, are we going to talk about the chemicals in the food tonight? Are we going to talk about the Republic? Are we going to talk about this? We're going to talk about the military. Let's carry on what our conversation was last night, which was how do we restore and understand the times in which we live in today, and how do we restore our Republic lawfully? Now, if anyone wants to call in, you press number 1. The phone number is 657-383-0616. And if you have something to say, I'm not saying that you'll be cut off after a couple minutes. What I'm saying is take a couple minutes, bring your thoughts to the table, but don't ramble on for 10 or 15 minutes and then expect everyone else to be patient. Nor should anyone cut anyone else off except for me. I am the moderator of the show. I'm not saying I'm going to hang up on anyone. I don't like doing that. I like to give everyone a live voice. But there has to be some sort of order here where we can all get our points across. Now, all of you are calling into the podcast, and I see your numbers. Many of you out there that are calling in don't see what I see. I have people in the chat room. I have people messaging me on YouTube. I have people messaging me on Facebook, Twitter. So, therefore, sometimes I'll interject and I'll bring their questions because maybe they feel uncomfortable about calling into a podcast show. Now, last night we had Sarge call in at the end of the show, and he brought a lot of great information to the podcast. Hopefully he'll join us again. But there has to be rules. There has to be some sort of order here where we have respect for one another. Yeah, because I got a lot of complaints about the show last night where people just start rambling on and they don't shut up. You know, look, I know all of you have a lot to say. There's a very popular platform. We have a lot of people listening. Yes, we do. I can assure you of that. Just look at my social media accounts. Just look at the callers we get in. I couldn't get to all the callers last night. Let's be respectful. And if you have a point to make, yield to the other callers. Yield. Just, instead of me having to interrupt you. But if I have to, I will interject. And I'm going to mute people. I'm going to do that. If you talk over others, yelling over each other is not going to solve anything at all. So hopefully all of you understood what I just said here, because we're carrying on from the platform last night. And what we're trying to do is what we left off with is that America is the greatest country on earth right now. Right now. Now, we could decipher and argue about 10 million years ago, 5 million years ago, 2,000 years ago, 250 years ago. Hello, Ferrara in the chat room. Thank you for coming in also. Hello to you. Like I said, folks, as I just opened, I got people sending me messages, and I like to acknowledge them. However, we have a republic here that that this country was founded upon. We have a republic, and I'm going to read some things here a little bit after I start taking some callers, because a lot of people want to join in already to the conversation. America is the final stand here on Earth. We have the greatest military. We have the greatest foundation that our founding fathers built upon for us to build upon. Now, I know there's going to be callers that are going to call in and disagree with that, and they may disagree with the fact that, you know, America's done this, America's done that. I agree with you. But that isn't the America that the founding fathers envisioned for us. You have to understand that. The founding fathers lived in a time where they stood up against tyranny, and they gave us a foundation, a constitution to live by and understand and fight for, even when those out there want to attack it and try to twist it or amend it in any such way. They gave us a Bill of Rights, a Declaration of Independence, where all of us are endowed by our Creator to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. However, we all know that, yes, America has become corrupt. We know that. We can't argue with that, can we? America is a disgusting place. The government, the politicians are criminals. And now we have to go back in the history and find out, how did that happen? You have to go back and understand why the republic was lost. Why have we turned into a corporation? And that's what the District of Columbia is. It's a corporation through its municipalities and through its banking cartels, its central banking system that the founders warned us about. But we allowed it to happen. And it began after the Civil War, during the Civil War, actually, and then after that through the Reconstruction Acts of 1871. Google it, whatever you want to do, whatever search engine you want. I promote this out there all the time. You have to understand how we got to the point we are here today as far as human government goes. Now, if you want to get into religion and all that, then we're going to get off topic. We're talking about what's happening today and why and how we got here today. That's what we're doing, and we're carrying on the conversation from last night. Okay? And what we have here is we have an illegal, illegitimate corporation that is not obeying the Constitution. They have statutory laws. You entered into a contract with these people, and that's one of the reasons why the whole main focal point of the Civil War was fought, is that the southern states at that time wanted to be free and independent. They didn't want to break away from the Union, but they wanted to be independent because they understood that if the northern aggression of the northern banks at that time, which were controlled by the Rothschilds, the J.P. Morgans, and all the Carnegies, the Warburgs, they wanted to incorporate the United States, the states at that time, into one centralized power, which we call the District of Columbia. They achieved that. Many lives were lost. The Civil War was not fought over slavery. Had nothing to do with slavery until the end, and then Abraham Lincoln introduced the fact that he would free the slaves, and much of the North actually disagreed with Abraham Lincoln at that time. But blah, 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 blah. We can argue about racism and all that and how racism still exists today, but that's all a distraction from what these people are really trying to do, because today we are all enslaved by the Federal Reserve and the central bankers. We have to have a monetary system here in this country, a bartering system, and that system is controlled by a banking monopoly, a monopolized system that regulates you through a contract, a contractual agreement that you entered into not knowingly, knowing. And that's where we get into restoring the republic. How can we go back and restore our Constitution? Excuse me. And understand lawfully, how can we do it without picking up a gun, without having bloodshed? How can we do this? And that was one of the questions that I posed last night. But nobody wanted, instead everyone wanted to argue with each other and jump into a million different subjects about poison in the food, people spraying us, drugs, and all this. Look, I understand all that, folks. I get that. That's all part of these elitist plans to divide us and conquer us. And until we understand that, we're never going to get anywhere. Until we understand the times in which we live in today, we're never going to get anywhere. Am I saying go out there and say, hey, I'm not going to have a driver's license, I have a right to travel? Excuse me again. Am I saying, pick up a gun and let's get into a shooting war with the government? No, I am not. What I'm saying is this could be done lawfully if we had people woken up and understood what is really happening. But we're so distracted with what these people have done through our entertainment system, through music, through drugs, through the food, through everything else. Can we analyze one single thing here and say, yeah, my Stouffer's meal has GMHO, this blah, blah, blah in it? No. I get that, Angel Lady Love. I get that. I understand what you're saying, the smart meters and all that crap. I get that. But that's all lower than the head of the snake. You have to chop the head of the snake off. You have to cut the head of the snake off, and then all the other issues we can analyze together as a people. But until we cut the head of the snake off and understand who's really controlling us and why they're controlling us and what their true agenda is, none of us are ever going to get anywhere. Now, last night we also covered this latest shooting. A state trooper wanted to pull over a guy because he supposedly did an improper lane change. And the guy, supposedly, again, I wasn't there. I can only go by what I see on my flat screen TV and what I hear on the internet, decided to start shooting at people and went crazy, and they killed him dead. And this goes back to what John, my friend, is. And I'm going to bring John on here as my first guest here tonight, and then we're going to open the phone lines to everybody. Everyone will get a chance. Is why are police pulling people over and harassing people for improperly changing a lane? These are just one of the other issues that we face here. We don't need Federal Reserve banking cartel enforcers out there harassing us while we are out there enjoying our life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. We don't need that. Did that person who improperly changed the lane injure anybody before the instant of the shooting? Did he injure anybody? Now we get to common law. We understand. Now we get back to the Constitution. The Constitution has certain amendments. You have the right to speak freely, unless you are what? Trying to attempt to injure somebody or like yelling fire in a movie theater. That you don't have the right to do that. Liberty has individual responsibility, and you should be held accountable for that. Now, who sets those guidelines and rules? Of course, there has to be guidelines and rules that are set up, because otherwise there'd be total madness, and no one would understand. We would all be killing each other. We can't say one love and let live. That ain't going to happen. It's human nature. I don't like you because of the color of your skin. I don't like you because you have a bigger car than me. I don't like you because your grass is shorter than mine. That's human nature. Now we get back to what the principalities are of love your neighbor as you are. Love one another. Enjoy one another. Be free. But we have people out there that are monopolizing the system, and they're doing it every single day, and that's why we're trying to understand the times in which we live in today. And until we restore our republic and we get back to common law, and I don't care about European invaders and this and that. Like I said, let's not get into Chinese history from 3,000 years ago, because none of you are going to bring facts to the table or actual documentation. All you're going to do is spew what you hate and what you think is to be true. Let's bring facts to the table. Your opinions are welcomed, but let's talk honestly here on how we can understand the times better for which we live in today. That is the key. Okay? Now, I have 305 on the line that's been waiting since the show began. I promise I will bring 305 on after 662. We're going to have a little bit of order here tonight. We're not going to yell over each other, but everybody is welcome to speak. So hopefully I did a good intro here tonight, and people understand the platform of this show. Everyone is welcome to come on, and if you want to talk about your Second Amendment rights, you want to talk about the Constitution, that's what we're here to do. Let's restore our republic. All right, 662, go ahead. I think this is my friend John. Go ahead. The floor is yours for a few minutes, and then I'm going to open up the phone line to 305. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is John, Mississippi, rather. Hey, very good intro, man. Very good. The Republic. What went wrong with the Republic? Capitalism, monetary system. The fact they took over our education system, our media system, all of TV, and indoctrinated the people. People think you have to have a monetary system to survive. And I know you don't agree with me on this, but we don't. It's not human nature to want what other people have. We're all acting against human nature by design of them indoctrinating us. And that's...
You're breaking up on me a little bit, John. I think I'm losing John here. I think I may be losing John. All right, John, you're breaking up on me. Maybe you got to reconnect. Are you still there, John?
Is that any better? Is that any better?
No, I can barely hear you, actually. I'm sorry.
Okay, move on. Just wait a little while.
I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Go ahead.
I was just talking about how they indoctrinated our minds and brainwashed us into thinking that we got to have what other people have instead of just having peace and harmony, you know? It's human nature just to live in peace and harmony and be content with what you have as long as you have enough to survive. You know, everybody thinks, no, it's human nature to want what everybody else has got. No, that's not human nature. That's the indoctrination and the brainwashing of today's society, which is horrible for the kids. They're getting it worse than we did when we were younger, you know? And it disgusts me, the whole situation. I watch what's going on in the world, and it totally disgusts me because we're not acting per human nature. We're acting against it. And people think, no, this is human nature. People are greedy. People want to hurt people. People want to step on people. No. The system they've created, that's how you survive. By hurting other people, you know, by taking somebody down so you could step up a little bit. But that's the system we live in today. It's not human nature. And people confuse human nature with the system they've created to destroy us, to create conflict between us. The monetary system is the number one problem. People just can't get past the fact, hey, man, why don't we all just share and all have everything and live in peace, harmony, and happiness and prosper together? Take care of each other like it used to be, you know? When a couple got married, they used to go build them a house, build them a barn. And the whole community got together and did this for the people. It wasn't about, well, what's in it for me? It's that we take care of our community. And if we could get back to those type of times, we could do good. I know we can as a race. It is what it is, you know. With that said, I don't want to take up a lot of time. Let the conversation move on, and we'll get into it. I'm looking forward to talking to Sarge. I hope he calls in tonight.
Yeah, I hope Sarge does call in here tonight. But I know you disagree a lot about religion or not, and I'm not talking about religion here, but food for thought here. For out of the heart proceed evil thoughts, murderers, adulterers, fornications, thefts, false witness, blasphemies. You know, but the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit within himself or of God, for they are foolish unto himself. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. You know, the heart is deceitful above all things. We know that, because a man's heart or a woman's heart can become evil based upon what we see out there and what someone else does. And then we become desperately wicked. You know, who can know these things? You know, there is none that understandeth the human heart or seeketh after our Creator anymore. And that's the problem. And like I said, I'm not saying you have to have a certain Creator or God But the fact of the matter is, what did I just tell you? That the heart is deceitful within its own. We're all born as sinners, and we're all born in a way not loving one another. We have jealousy, we have wickedness. That's just the way we are, you know. But how do we change that within ourselves? And not getting into a religious discussion here, but spirituality is something that a lot of us don't understand and don't get. And that's one of the things here we're going to talk about, all right? So, John, I appreciate it. I'll leave you on the phone line. Remember, I said 305 is next, and then we'll bring 302 on the phone line here. Press the number 1, anyone who wants to join in the conversation. But topic of the show here tonight is how do we restore our society? Like John said, he's so disgusted at what he sees out there today, and a lot of people are. You know, we're disgusted at the actions of a lot of people. I mean, for someone to go out and shoot a child or hurt innocent people based upon his own opinions or belief is absolutely disgusting. How do we change the moral fabric of our society here today? We have fallen away from the principles of our Constitution. And the Constitution and our Constitution has been hijacked. And it's been done, like John said, through our monetary system. You know, and our monetary system has created greed. And yes, capitalism based upon imperialism, based upon regulation, based upon coincides with greed, where the regulators who regulate you and the way you travel, just for instance, is, you got to register your car. You got to pay a highway use tax. You got to have car insurance. You got to do this. You got to pay for a driver's license. All this is a monopoly, a system that is monopolized. You know, you got to pay when you buy a piece of land. Here, before I get to 305, when you buy your land and you own it, you're given a warranty deed. Does anyone know what a warranty deed is? It means you're a tenant. And you pay a property tax to who? The county. And the thing of it is, why are you paying a tax that is, and this is one of the things the founders were dead set against. You remember the story about them throwing the tea into the ocean? Taxation without representation. You know, we go back into history then. Now, let's not go back 3,000 years ago. Let's talk about America today and where America stands and how we can restore our country. Go ahead, 305. You're next. 305's been waiting a long time. Go ahead.
How you doing there, Joe? This is Maurice Young calling from Miami. I used to be a rapper back in the 90s. I used to go by the name of Trick Daddy. And the thing that actually woke me up was 9/11. Alex Jones, a whole bunch of stuff, and I don't agree with the Federal Reserve. They have us in bondage as slaves to the money, and everything is like out of play, you know, and. I was hoping MandelaCon was on because I like to pick his brain. I just calling in. And this is actually my first time calling, but I've been hearing you for months.
That's fine, and I appreciate your call. I really do. And so therefore, you're somebody. Now you claim you're calling from Miami. Obviously, you have a major hurricane coming your way. Can you tell me about the situation? Just give me a live report down there from Florida, if you can, on what's happening, because FEMA's down there, and they declared a state of emergency, which is totally unconstitutional, by the way, because of some bad weather. The government has no authority under the Constitution to declare a state of emergency and restrict travel and restrict anything whatsoever. What do you have? Can you give us a live report there from Miami on what's happening or what you're seeing through your local news media? And I did request a friend of mine from Florida to call in and give me a live report from New Smyrna Beach, Florida, but I don't know where he's at. But go ahead, give us can you give us a live report from Miami, please?
Yes. It's really bad right now, and me and my family, we actually we're in Atlanta right now, so we're safe right now from all that stuff. But yeah, I have a lot of friends that are out there, and they're in the what do you call that? The stadiums right now, so they're being kept there safe. Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate your call, sir. I appreciate your call. I'll leave you on the phone line as long as everyone, and you can jump back in, but everyone has to yield to, we're going to keep the phone lines here polite here tonight. And and John's still on the phone line, so we're going to open up the phone lines to as many people as we can here tonight. I did ask someone from a friend of mine from New Smyrna Beach, Florida, to give us a live report. And like I just stated, the federal government or any governor to declare a state of emergency is unconstitutional. There's no such thing as a state of emergency, okay? And then we get back to constitutional law and why they're able to do that. So we need to understand these things. We need to understand the times in which we live in today.
Learning new things.
I didn't hear what you said. What?
Yeah, this is why I like listening, because you bring up new things that I don't even know about.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate that. I'll leave you on the phone line. You can stay on as long as you want. Let's bring John, did you want something to add real quick before I bring the next caller on?
Yeah, if you want to talk about the hurricane right now in South Florida, look, I believe it's all a hoax. I'm watching the tracking of it from day one, and none of it fits in with what a hurricane would act like at all. None of it. Even what they're predicting it's going to lose power offshore. Hurricanes do not lose power offshore. They lose power when they hit land. Look at you can go to hurricane trackers and you can look at all the hurricanes in history. They all gain power until they hit land. Okay? I saw some videos online where people were claiming they were in the middle of a hurricane, one lady, and I was looking at it and the video was showing maybe 40 mile, 50 mile an hour winds, and she's claiming there's 100, and the forecast is claiming 170 right now as it was going on. And she's standing outside talking on her phone with a clear voice of her broadcast. In other words, this was clipped onto a video. Her voice was just clipped onto the video because you can't talk in your cell phone in the middle of 170 mile an hour winds. To begin with, you can't even stand there because you would literally blow away.
Yeah, because you know what would happen, John? We get background noise here. What would you hear? You'd hear something like that, right?
Yeah, open your window in your car when you're traveling 40 miles an hour and try to talk on your cell phone with the wind blowing around. You can't do it, but yet she's standing in the middle of the hurricane outside and talking clear as a bell over the thing. It's all a hoax, man. It is. If you pay attention to it.
I agree with you, John, there. Before I bring 302 on here, you're absolutely correct, because if you remember correctly, those of you who were around back in 1991, if you remember, you look up at the CNN reports about the Iraq War, Desert Storm there, where they were doing hoax that Saddam was shooting Scud missiles, and they put the hoax on that he was shooting Scud missiles all over the place. And if you go back and Google those videos, actually, you'll see how they laugh about it. And it was one big hoax also. Just like the chemical weapons. Saddam Hussein had chemical weapons, and then, oops, where are they? So that's a whole other subject, actually. I don't want to jump around. I need to take my own advice there, but from the beginning of the platform there. So, hey, everyone, I got John from Mississippi on the phone line here. I got area code 305 on the phone line. And I was asking some people from Florida to give live reports here tonight. But the phone number to call in is 657-383-0616, and we're talking about how do we understand the times in which we live in today. How do we restore our Constitution? And how do we make America really great again and understand the times in which we live in today? I don't want to criticize Donald Trump. We can go back to criticizing Obama, George Bush, Ronald Reagan, Jimmy Carter, Nixon, Ford, JFK. We could do all that, but that's not going to get us anywhere. Let's understand the times which we live in today and understand that we're no longer under the Constitution. The system is so convoluted, screwed up. We really need to really wake up as a people. So let me bring on, he's well-loved, much hated here on this podcast, but let me bring on Mandela Khan here. A lot of people don't like him. They don't like, but we're going to give time limits here. Everyone take a couple minutes here to talk. We got a lot of people on the phone line here tonight, so everyone take a few minutes, and you're always welcome to come back in, but we're not going to yell over everybody here tonight. We're going to have a nice conversation and try to understand the times in which we live in today. So, Mandela Khan, you're next. Go ahead.
Very good. On this September 1st, on the total recall of the Ethiopian Empire Class Action 567, Class Action 567 is about the matriarch. The mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers, black, brown, red, yellow, and white, old, young, gay, straight alike. You are the proper administrations to organize this country. Not John, not Joe, not Mandela Khan. I happen to be the chosen son of the matriarch. And I want to put the record straight. There's no third-party ventriloquist or interpreter. And understand the sign of times in which we live in today, everybody got to step to the pulpit, podium, telephone, and microphone and tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. I know there's a plethora, a multitude of people that never spoke. And if I just have to hear the usual suspect, Mandela Khan, the other usual suspects that represent the Masonic Order of the Patriarch, I represent the matriarch. So after all the men that talk, that come in, they all represent the New World Order, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights. They represent the Confederate flag of the red, white, and blue. I don't represent that ilk. I represent the red, black, green, and gold, the rally point, the symbol of living, let live, and one love that even Joe will tell you it's not going to happen. But here's why I got you. Listen to this. I come from the working class of poor people. There's 80%. And if I can't cuss a little bit, I can't talk. And I have a right to talk to you this way. And there's 17% of the so-called shrinking middle class, black or white. And there's a 3% of the elite ruling class. And here's what I say, and this is not a request, this is a demand. You give me what I want now, or you give it to me fast, or Mother Nature is going to destroy all your black and white ass in this country. Now, let me just show you what I just said. I know that HARP has been getting a lot of fanfare. This is so-called weather machine, Cloud City. We got these things called, what they call that stuff where the planes put these streaks in the sky. What they call that? You see them airplanes.
Weather balloons. Weather balloons.
No. It's something else. When they have these planes going all over the air, and then look like a cloud coming behind it.
It's called geostrophic. It's called geostrophic engineering, actually. That's what it's called.
No.
Geostrophic engineering.
It's another term that everybody is popular with. Everybody's popular with.
Mandela Khan.
Okay, chemtrails. Okay, there you go.
No, hang on.
I had a complaint about you,
but
Joe.
I do have someone who wants to give us a live report from New Smyrna Beach, Florida, about the hurricane. He may agree with you on a lot of things.
I'll rest okay until after that. Go ahead. Go.
All right, like I said, let's keep some order here. I do have someone from New Smyrna Beach, Florida, actually, that wants to talk about what's really happening down there in Florida, because I think this coincides with what John was saying. This is maybe one big hoax, and this hurricane really isn't actually happening. So I'm going to bring on New Smyrna Beach here, Florida here, and let's get a live report on understanding the times which we live in today. Area code 386 is from Florida. Go ahead, Florida. Go ahead. Give us a live report from Florida about this so-called hurricane that's going to destroy the entire United States.
I don't know about all that, but it's just windy. I mean, they're saying it's going to turn and go up the coast, so we're under hurricane watch. The grocery stores, of course, are out of milk and bread, as usual. They're saying don't, evacuate if you feel like you need to, but I don't. It's just windy.
Well, how far are you from the actual beach where you're living at right now? How far are you from the actual waters and sand?
Less than a mile.
Less than a mile. So therefore, this big monster hurricane that they're talking about that's heading directly towards you, Category 5, 200-mile-an-hour winds, and has anyone evacuated in your neighborhood, or is everyone just going about their days and their lives as they would every other day, except for buying up all the milk and bread and buying up all the generators? I mean, every year we hear about everyone buying out all the generators at Home Depot. I mean, damn, how many generators does everyone have down there? It's the same political dance and same scope of brainwashing. I mean, what's going on? I mean, just give us a live report of what you see through your neighbors, the neighborhoods that you're in, the stores. Give us a live report. You said it's a little windy down there. Well, it's a little windy here in North Carolina. Doesn't mean I'm going to run out and buy all the milk out in the grocery store. So tell me what's really happening.
Well, there's a few people, that's got some stuff on their windows. They boarded up or whatever just in case it does come inland. But I have some family members that have those generators, that kick on when your power goes off. Because a couple years ago, they went like 2 weeks without power around here from a hurricane. And actually, there's a bridge. There's 2 bridges to go over to New Smyrna Beach side, and one of my sisters lives over there on Beach side. If the hurricane does come inland, they will shut down those bridges across.
So therefore, hang on. So if you do get bad weather there, the government there, your local government's going to shut down those bridges. So therefore, you'll be trapped if you decide you have to leave, right?
You better get out before the hurricane, or you will be stuck on the beach side until it's over with. Because you won't be able to.
Have you seen any FEMA trucks driving around, or has any emergency personnel knocked on your door and said, "Hey, you better evacuate"?
No. The governor, speaking of, there's like a state of emergency on the coast here, but I don't know what that means. I don't see anything going on. There's nobody coming around giving me food. But I don't see anything set up for somebody's shelter or nothing like that to go to. I mean, the house that
Now, hold on a second here. Hang on a second here. So that's a very interesting point what you have said. Let's spin this off here. It's all over the news media, the corporate news, that Florida's bunkering down. And now you just said you're less than a mile from the sand and the water. And how many miles south of you is New Smyrna Beach from Jacksonville? About how long of a drive from Jacksonville? Because they don't talk, just to give people a general idea.
Just a little bit under 100 miles to Jacksonville. It's about 15 miles south of Daytona Beach, where the Speedway is, and it's about 50 miles north of where the Cape is, where they launched the shuttle and all, supposedly shot up the shuttle. But it's in between Daytona and Cape Canaveral.
So basically, all these reports that we're seeing here in North Carolina and people around the country, basically it's all a bunch of crap. There's nothing happening. I mean, because they got the governors on TV, bunker down, we're evacuating people, you know, and they see all these people packing sandbags up, and we all got to get ready for this catastrophic event. So basically what you're telling me is that nothing's really happening. It's life as usual down there, right?
Yes, yeah, life goes on. No, nothing's going on. I mean, it's nothing else.
And you would think if something, and now let me interject here, yield to me for a second. So you would think with an event this large that the media is talking about every 7 minutes, if you time it, they're talking about this every 7 minutes. We got governors on the telephone with Fox and Friends and CNN, and this is such a big catastrophic thing coming, and everybody needs to bunker down. All the gas stations are out of gas. Do gas stations still have gasoline down there, or is everyone sold out?
Yeah, about 2 days ago, before they thought it was going to hit the coast of Florida, a couple of days ago, there was some gas stations that ran out of gas because people were panicking, to get their cars filled up. But now it's normal. It's gas. It's not overpriced, and yeah, there's plenty of gas.
Well, people are telling me in the chat room right now that Jacksonville has a mandatory evacuation. I mean, and you're about 75 miles from Jacksonville, New Smyrna Beach. I'm looking it up right now. So therefore, why? What? If they knocked on your door and said you need to get out, it's mandatory. Would you leave that area? Where would you go? Because like you said, you don't see any shelters shut out, or set up. So that's giving you free food, or what is this? One big hoax, like John was saying? Is this just one big hoax that the hurricane really isn't coming towards you? Is it just a little rainstorm? I mean, how do we know for sure that there really is a major hurricane coming your way? How do we know? Is this just another hoax?
It could be, yes. It could be imaging. They're doing some kind of. It could be a hoax. You're right. It's nothing. I don't know. I haven't seen any hurricane. But the house I live in is like 115 years old, so it's been through a lot of hurricanes.
Well, there you go. So, but they're saying that this hurricane, and like you said, it's 115 years old. So this hurricane will destroy every standing building, and everyone needs to get out. I mean, why is this distraction happening? I wonder. We're trying to get to the bottom of this.
They can't make you leave your house. I mean, they can't. I mean, I guess one day when this New World Order starts, they may come around and gather you up and say, it's a mandatory evacuation, come with us. We're going to chip you or whatever, but they can't make you leave your house. They can't make you leave if you live on beachside. They can tell you that they're going to close the bridges, and they, like I said, my sister.
Well, that's my point, and that's what I'm talking about with the New World Order. It's one big hoax where they're putting fear into people, and to create this one world order, and a lot of people don't understand that, and they don't get that.
That's possible. They could be just all a hoax, They could come around here and get people now. Hey, say, come with us, It's a mandatory evacuation, and people would be stupid enough to get in the bus to go somewhere. No.
Yeah, somewhere, yeah, and put a microchip in your rear end and or your right hand,
Yeah.
But that's very interesting. Live from New Smyrna Beach here, 386 calling in. Very interesting live report there. And I know who this individual is, and he does live in New Smyrna Beach. So right on the coast there of Florida, and he says nothing has changed, nothing's happening. But yet Fox News, they got everyone, going crazy over this, and we're all going to go crazy, and who knows? But all right, everyone. Again, let's get back to the subject here tonight: restoring our republic and the Constitution. Last night we got into a conversation where we're going to have utopia and capitalism versus socialism. basically. And John disagreed with me. He said, no, this isn't socialism. So, John, first here.
No. Let's go back to where I was before Florida. And it's a beautiful thing. Because I told you, it's not nice to fool with Mother Nature. And you were talking about heart. And this guy from Florida, John, you, under the Masonic Order of Matriarch, let me show you something, and I can prove what I'm saying. All tornadoes and hurricanes come from the continent of Africa to warn your ass about your transgression. And I'll repeat it again.
Wait a second. What about thunderstorms? What about thunderstorms that develop in the Midwest? They come from Africa too?
Hey, Joe. Now, here's what I need you to do. Because I won't interfere with your affairs, but it don't come from Russia, it don't come from China, it don't come from Israel. Now, I can prove what I'm saying. Now, remember Hurricane Katrina, the voodoo capital, New Orleans. I want you to remember Haiti. Now, the reason why the people in Haiti was treated like refugees, ruffians, and renegades during the time of the storm. There's never been a storm in the history of the United States of America where the people who are indigenous under the voodoo capital, the French Quarter, is Haiti. Everybody know that, Haiti. But the voodoo capital in the United States of America is New Orleans. We've had several hurricanes and tornadoes, but never did FEMA, the buses, and the National Guard and everybody, after they blew up the levees, never did they make the ruffians and renegades and refugees in this horn of plenty called the United States of America, but they only did it because of the voodoo capital. And what am I saying? I'm saying that this is staged, activated, orchestrated, and presented. Who do you think is going to win?
Well, let's get into that.
Hold on. Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to win? Hart, the United States government, or Mother Nature? Y'all know a commercial. It's not nice to fool with Mother Nature. What I'm here to tell you, I'm the son of Mother Nature. You're going to give me what I want now?
All right, so Mandelicon, hang on now. Let me interject. We got into last night. Let's continue from last night. Can you provide me a better document better than the Constitution? Will you openly admit on this platform here tonight that America is the greatest country on planet Earth as we stand today?
Yes, sir. That document is the lie you just put forth. You, John.
All right. Why is it a lie?
Okay. Here's why. You call them the founding fathers. Now, I want you and John to tell me what they found. And you and John said they discovered a new world. Now, if you and John are honest, and any other illegal alien European invader immigrant who used their ships to come into our holy lands, if you don't admit that there was an old world already existing, a government that already existed before we trespassed on the Holy Lands, how dare you come into my sector, indigenous people all over the planet, and discover something of the new world you discovered? And this is the founding. How can you find something that was there before you came? You can't. And how can you say that this is the new world? There is no new world. The world is over 1 million years old. So you and the illegal alien, European invader,
hang on a second here. The founding fathers of this country, America is a special land with a divine purpose. And the people with it, and you have to understand. Look, the first, hang on, Mandelicon, let's not talk over each other. Hang on, I let you speak. Now listen to what I have to say. The first colonial settlement from England was the Virginia colony, which was in 1607. Okay, while it was largely Christian, its primary purpose was mainly as business ventures for economic prosperity. This was made self-evident in its first year when gold was discovered nearby. The colonists, I'm reading from something now, the colonists nearly starved that first year because they neglected their crops in search of gold. Okay? Now, look, we can get into why America was founded or whatnot, but we can all agree America was founded, and the founding fathers founded America, and the founding fathers gave us a constitution, and they fought for that constitution.
Hey, Joe, here's where your problem is. You act as though some humble, beneficent, some people who demonstrate their repentance, that there were some noble, moral, ethical people that just stumbled and founded some savages or founded some gorillas, some apes, and some Africans who didn't know shit. That's a goddamn lie, Joe, and I can't let you get away with that. Because here's the deal.
So what's the founding then? So you're telling me America doesn't exist, and whoever came here, they invaded the continent?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that in your selective amnesia and in your blueprint for let's make America great again, America was great before your ass got here and founded what you say was already existed.
Okay, so let's agree to that, Mandela Khan. But today, here in 2019, America is America. How do we fix America today? What is your answer?
Very good.
What is your answer?
Okay, here's my
How
answer.
do we understand the times which are today? Hang on. I'm asking a question, and then you please, if you don't mind, answer.
Yes, sir.
Today we have America. We have an American system today that is broken.
Yes,
we all recognize that. We have a corporation that has hijacked our Constitution, the founding fathers, like you like to call them. So how do we restore? What do we restore the Constitution with? Do you have an answer for that? What do we restore our Constitution with?
Absolutely. The proper administration and authority of the stolen legacy is her story. All proper administration and authority must be returned back.
Who's her? Mandela Khan. Who's her?
Look, I'm going to say it. Let me say it. Back into the hands of the mothers, grandmothers, and great-grandmothers, no matter if they're black, brown, red, yellow, and white, old, young, gay, straight, alike. Shaka, Hannibal, Martin Luther King, Donald Trump, George Washington, Mandela Khan was never supposed to take control of Mother Earth and say, I'm God, I got the weapons, I'm the stronger, and to the victor go the spoils, and I got the way. I'm telling you that the only way to get out of this...
Okay, so how do we take away the weapons from all the European invaders that invaded America?
No.
And we give it back to the grandmothers and mothers of the earth. What are they going to do with them?
I'm not interested in taking away the weapons from the illegal alien European invaders. I'm here to show you that today, every weapon that you have to destroy humanity is imploding on yourself, and even Raheem, Jose, Junebug, and the leader, the Crips and Bloods, Blackstone Rangers, you must recognize this, that we did not shoot, vote, pray, or go to school our way into this.
Should we institute today? Who's going to govern the people? What is your answer? What do we restore the Constitution?
The people
hang on. Let's put this question this way. We get rid of the Constitution. All the European invaders are invaders. So, and we all go back to the grandmothers and Mother Earth.
No. I didn't say that.
How does Mother Earth and the grandmothers rule the planet today?
I didn't say that. The People's Revolution is not all black and it's not all men. Under the matriarch, only the mothers and grandmothers and great-grandmothers can put forth the proper legislation, the proper laws that will guarantee live and let live in one love. If I go my way, I'm going to kill the fuck out of you.
Mandela Khan? Okay? How are they going to do that?
I'm going to kill the fuck out of Tyrone Thompson.
What do you recommend?
I recommend that the majority of voices that must come to the pulpit, telephone, microphone are the women who are witnessing their families being destroyed from Maine to Florida, Washington State to California, UK, University of Kentucky, from the Congo to the Bongo, under the Masonic Order of the Patriarch. You understand me? The Masonic Order of the Patriarch is where kill or be killed is standard procedure. It's like mom's apple pie. You got to do that in order to be right. But I'm telling you that you can't kill your way out of this because energy cannot be destroyed. And if you shoot every atomic bomb that you have, I'm going to still be here like a rat, a roach, a mosquito, a fly, or a fucking insect that you don't want.
All right, Mandelicon, I think you gave us your best answer. Let's move down. Hang on, I'll leave you on the phone line.
We got some new callers.
Before I get to,
new callers, push one.
Hang on, Mandelicon, hang on. 419 and 386, you're on the phone line here. And I got a private caller also that's been waiting 54 minutes. But, John, do you want to respond to Mandelicon real quick? I know you've been waiting here patiently and being respectful.
No. He don't have to respond to me. He don't have to respond to me. He don't have to respond to me because I don't tolerate that shit.
All right. Well, then we won't respond to you because you're the greatest man and the judge. We can't respond to you. All right, John, do you want to respond to anything on the platform here tonight?
Let's keep on moving on to new callers.
All right, very good. All right, John, I'll do that. Let's go to private caller here. It's been waiting. Go ahead, private caller, then 419. Private caller, go ahead. Capitalism versus socialism, the utopia that we're all promised here and we think we're going to achieve. Go ahead, private caller.
Hi, Chief Brother Joseph Gibson and all the family members and friends. I'm Angel Lady Love, listener, inspirer, friend, emissary. I am the impetus for Make America Great Again. I am the impetus for The Apprentice, and I can give more details. Our very employees are out of order, and we won't take up our proper position. We, the people, are the government. They are our employees. Now, I don't understand this. And when you talked about the shooting, and I thank you for bringing it to my attention yesterday, the bottom line, I told you, all organ harvesting. They gave you wrongful numbers initially. Remember, they said 13, but then it didn't even add up. And now they're saying, that I heard last 5 people killed, and that includes the shooter, and there were 21 people injured.
Angel Lady Love, yes. As far as hang on, Angel Lady Love, I'm going to let you talk here, but how do we restore our republic? Is there a greater document out there or a greater way to restore our society today? What is the answer to restoring our society today?
First of all, you got to learn to listen. Angel Lady Love means Angel Lady Love, listener, inspirer, friend, emissary. That is an acronym for all life. We must learn to listen because right now our ascended masters are watching everything. I remember when they were training me about the chemtrails and the contrails and how to tell the difference when it was making the weather, when it was mankind making the weather. Mankind are the genetically engineered beings that more emphatically have both sexes, many of them, and born with tails, of which their mothers are saying they don't want the doctors to choose their sex, and obviously they're going to leave the tails on them. Now, why am I saying that? Because I'm hearing a lot of people that don't even have it in their genetics thinking that they're supposed to make a decision as to whether they're going to be a man or a woman. And unfortunately, the original supreme beings are being hypnotized, brainwashed. They whisper in the children's ear as soon as they're born. If it's a boy, they want them to turn into a girl. They've mastered this.
All right, that's fine, but how do we stop it? How do we stop it, Angel Lady Love? I want solutions.
Because it will be,
what is the solution
you must
to
stay
stopping
sober. In my book, it tells you to stay sober, Old and New Testament, and more emphatically, pay attention. Every excellent teacher tells you to pay attention. Only the dimbats will say focus. And then you'll see children staring because that's how they focus. It is pay attention. Now, I've given you my history book. It is a past, present, and future book. I've even told you, if you read the last book of that Bible in the New Testament, all these people are using my very directives as to setting us up. But you want to argue with me. I wanted to go into George W. Bush Jr. because he set the pace as soon as he got in, and we let our very Supreme Court tell them to stop challenging the Chads that happened to be in Florida, that his brother was governor. And then they said that George Bush is president. Our Supreme Court of the United States of America are only supposed to interpret the law, not tell us what to do. That's number one. Even though he came in late, George W. Bush, the first thing he did was gave to Colin Powell $43 million to give to the Taliban. Well, who's the Taliban? When his daddy, George H.W. Bush, was CIA director, he came up with the name Taliban because he was trying to keep the Russians from getting to
Angel
the
Lady
drugs
Love,
in
I agree with
Afghanistan.
you on that. Okay, that's fine.
Well, you're
that's
trying to
we don't want to talk
the money.
about history.
They receive $43 million every year after that. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Lord. Yeah, but how do we restore our republic today? Are you saying that we need to restore the Constitution, or is there a new document? I don't care about George Bush. We know he's a criminal. We know that.
It is what gave the directives to open up for the Constitution of the United States of America. Now, I hear you keep asking that, and you always quote the Declaration of Independence for the Constitution. There are two different documents. Add that to the fact, if you look into your state, you will find that they have, and you have, which most of them really weren't supposed to do this, their own constitution, as well as they have the codes of that state. Maybe for your very county.
All right, Angel Lady Love, hang on. My question, though, is to the platform here tonight that we're having. We could talk about George W. Bush and the mind control programs and all the chemicals in the food and 1,000 different subjects out there. What is America the last stand on earth? What do we do from this point on to stop what is happening? What do we do? What is the final analysis of all this?
First of all of Congress, for the most part, and as well as the senators, they're out of order. And when you go into your local various city council, only you can talk about them. They are employees. And then they have employees. And all of them need to be fired. Yes, I said that to the Honorable Donald John Trump Sr., where he got that from.
If I may, Angel Eagerly Love, firing them is one thing, but they need to be arrested for their war crimes, sweetheart. And they're not our employees; they are war criminals. And I refuse to allow you.
When we recognize that they are our employees, we can then stand up.
They are not our employees. They don't work for the people, Angel Eagerly Love. They don't work for the people.
Wait a minute. They're tricking all of you. In reference to in the Constitution.
No, they're tricking you because you're giving them a pass. You don't want their execution. You don't want their arrest warrant.
All
right. There's no such thing as arrest warrants. There's no such thing as arrest warrants. There's no the United States is a corporation.
She knows about it. She knows about it. She talked to the judge. She talked to the legal team. She knows about the arrest warrant, but she won't say it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen
out here, please.
Can I start with last night?
Let's not turn this into a shouting match here.
That shot and killed the so-called shooter, they should be tested for drugs. Who in the heck?
All right, they should be tested for drugs. But hang on,
she don't have a solution, Joe. She don't have a solution, Joe. She don't have a solution.
How do you know
she don't have a solution, Joe?
All right, everybody. Next caller. We got to move down the line here. Let's move down the line here. Everybody can remain on the line, but let's not yell over one another.
Are you listening?
All right, hang on. All right,
you asked her several times for 3 days for a solution, Joe. She does not have a solution, and she cannot bring a solution. That's not her sector.
All right, everybody. All right, I don't want to mute callers here. I don't want to mute callers. Come on now. Let's move on. Everyone's remain on the line here. Next caller, 419. Go ahead, 419.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
What happened to you?
Hello there. This is Mark Johnson running for your president. And John
Oh,
Son.
the president is in the house. I love that. The president is in the house.
Delicon, you don't need to, he just said that. You don't need to remind us of that, please. All right, go ahead, Mr. President. He wants to run for president. Let's let him speak. Come on.
Yes, may we have a little diplomacy tonight. We can do that amongst ourselves, I'm sure. How are you, Mr. Moderator? I see you're having a tough go there. And Angel Lady, it's good to hear from you also. Everybody, peace and good wishes to all of you. But I just have to state out the obvious fact that our system of government and the monetary system has turned us all into a bunch of garbage collectors. We collect paper like it's the most important thing in the world. Now, squirrels do it, birds do it to build nests, but we do it and we line our pockets with this crap. And what we need to do is just cut out the middleman altogether and just make everything totally free. 1/3 of the population can easily take care of the other 2/3 without a problem. Little automation.
Whoa. Hang on a second. Now, let me interject. Why should 1/3 of the population take care of the other population? Why does anyone need to take care of anyone else?
How dare you question our president?
Why should I take
Shut
care
your
of anybody?
goddamn mouth. How dare you question our president?
Well, you see, the thing is here, you see.
Listen, I'm asking a simple question. Why should anyone take care of anyone else? Why do I need to take care of you? Why do I need to take care of Indelicon?
It's a basic human necessity. Once we're born, we're taken care of. Once we get old, we're taken care of. What about the in-between? We take care of each other. It's just basic human function. We need to do this, and that's the only way we're going to go forward in this world with any modicum of decency as humans. And hey, John, how you doing?
And Mr. President,
John,
if I may,
all right, real quick, if I may, hang on, real quick. All right, hang on, real quick. The government, hang on. This is what I understand is that we have a monetary system here in this country right now, and the government should create, issue, and circulate all currency. The government that we support. There has to be a bartering system. That's my point. And the bartering system we have here has been corrupted and is controlled by capitalism, by imperialism, like Mendelicon likes to say. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is that currency and credit needed to satisfy the spending power of the government and the buying power of the consumers. Now, who are the consumers? We are. We're the consumers, correct? You know, the privilege of creating and issuing money is not only the supreme prerogative of government, because every government has to create a bartering system around the world. Otherwise, people are just going to think that they're owed everything for free, and everything's going to be free. Like you just stated earlier, the 1/3 needs to take care of the other portions of the population. And I asked, why should I take care of anyone? Why should I have to take care of anyone? Why can't I take care of myself and not have to worry about my fellow man? You know, I mean, so therefore we have governments instituted amongst men, amongst women out there in society. So I say, what I'm trying to say is that by the adoption of these principles, the long-felt want for a uniform medium will be satisfied. The taxpayers will be saved immense sums of interest, and discounts of their exchanges, which is a bartering system, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, may I interject?
Go ahead.
May I interject, please? Okay.
Well, Joe, will you let the president speak? Now, you wouldn't do that with George Bush. You wouldn't do that with Donald Trump or Osama or Bin Laden. Or
all right, Mendelicon, I'm doing it for you. Now quiet, please. I am. He just asked if he can interject, and I said yes. So let's not talk over each other. Go ahead, the soon-to-be elected president that he wants to be elected. I don't know what office or what corporation or the republic. I don't know what this guy wants to represent as president.
That's John's your brother.
All right, Mendelicon, shut up for a minute, please. Yeah, you're talking over me. I asked not to do that here tonight, okay? Mr. President, Mr. soon-to-be elected president, what people are you representing?
I represent all people all over the world. And to answer your question about why should you work and take care of somebody else, we're all like an electric current through this earth, but we're only charging that one light bulb, which is ourselves. That extra energy is spent, and it can supply so much more. We don't have to hoard it, and we do not have to be a nation of garbage collectors. Currency is a slaver's tool, which brings us all together, and now we can finally be equal under one republic through the Founding Fathers' documents. We do not need that dollar bill. It's garbage, and it's a slaver's tool.
So what do we replace it with? What do we replace the dollar bill with? How do we exchange and barter with each other?
We don't exchange and barter unless you just want to. We have machines.
No. That was not an answer, sir. What do you mean, unless I want to? Okay, let's say I want to barter with my next door neighbor. What type of currency or bartering system do I use with my next door neighbor? Say I have 10 books here on my desk, and I say I got 10 books here, and I've got 3 logs and 2 pieces of scrap metal, and I want your generator. Are you telling me that that's an okay bartering system? And then what happens if I buy that generator hang on, let me finish. I exchange my 10 books, piece of log, and scrap metal for my next door neighbor's generator. He gives me that generator, and the generator don't work. Now we have a conflict of interest. Now, who oversees that conflict of interest? What do I do about it? Go shoot my neighbor in the head? What do I do? What if my neighbor says, oh, no, that generator worked when I gave it to you, so here we go. Now we got rules and regulations in place. How do we barter with each other? What do we do about that situation? Let's talk simply here. What do I do now if my neighbor sold me a bad generator and I bartered with him with my tangible assets? Who regulates this? Where does government come into control? Who oversees this? What type of regulation do we have?
All you had to do was go to the store and get your own generator for free. Because
no. That's not the question, sir. You just said that we should be able to barter with each other independently without any type of governmental influence or control. I just gave you an example where I said, okay, my neighbor has a generator over there that he built, made for himself. Where he got it from, I don't know. But I have something over here I want to trade with him with, and he decides to trade with me, and now that generator don't work. Now I'm like, wait, you didn't sell me a generator. You sold me a lawnmower. Okay, so who oversees that? What type of regulation we have? Well, this is how the money changers were originated. Somebody oversaw and manipulated and put regulations down, and that's become corrupt over the years. But let's stick to the simple story here. My neighbor sold me a bad generator. Who do I complain to? What do I do? Do I go over there and beat my neighbor up? What do I do? If my neighbor says, screw you, I got you, ha, 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 ha. So who do I report this to? What do I do about this? To Mr. President, who do I report this to?
Mr. President, before you answer, let me say this to Joe Gibson.
Yeah, that's
my
what I
quarterback.
thought.
I'm like
That's
Theo
what I
Owens.
thought.
And
there is no answer, is there? Mendelicon. Now you get into elected representatives who oversee the concerns and values of the people, and now you get into judges. Hang on, Mendelicon, hang on. Now this is where we get judges and juries involved. I bring my case in front of a jury, and I say I gave my next-door neighbor 10 books, a piece of scrap metal, and 3 logs. He gave me a generator that didn't work. How does, and now the guy who sold me the generator, who said, ha, 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 I got you, I sold you a lawnmower instead of a generator, now it goes to a jury system. Now, that jury, under a republic form of law, all must be convinced that my side of the story, hang on, or I'm going to mute everybody. Hang on. That jury, under a republic form of government, under the Constitution, all 12 people of that jury, or 8 people, how many members are on that jury, all must be convinced that I'm right, or the guy who sold the generator to me is right or wrong. And that's a republic. That's how the system was created. That's what the founders created, a republic.
The red carpet treatment. But I'm like
All right, Mendelicon, you're not getting the point, Mendelicon. You're talking out of a horse's end of an eagle's ass.
No,
that's
I'm
not.
I'm like Terrell Owens representing Tony Romo.
Yes, you are.
This guy is my quarterback, and you're not giving my president a chance to put his platform on the table.
So right now I just fumbled the ball, so you're muted. How's that sound? Okay? You're not getting the point, Mendelicon. I'm the running, all right? We're not playing football here. I just brought up a perfect example of how the republic form of system that our founders started. This is why you have judges and juries. This is why you have a system of human government.
Honorable High Chief of the
Go ahead. I'll yield to you, Angel. Angel Lady Love, as long as you don't get into smart meters and get off topic. Please talk about what I just said here.
I'm trying to get to the point of what you're saying, which is not true. We are a Judaic-Christian Islamic nation, and I can even say Buddhism, because my highest commander was the true Buddha that ascended. But more emphatically, we have what I call universal laws of 614. They all call them Mosaic laws 613. The top 10 commandments, okay?
Angel Lady Love,
normally
you're getting off the point. I just gave Angel Lady Love. All right, Angel Lady Love. Can you please answer the question? Can you? No, excuse me. I don't want to get into 13.7s and the Illuminati and smart meters and why there's poison in our food. I just gave you an example. I just gave you an example of a dispute I made. You're not listening at all. You're not listening and you're not understanding.
We are people of the law. We have universal laws, which
That's
you all
what
call
I
Mosaic
just said,
law.
didn't I?
You understand, Moses?
All right, just go ahead. Ramble on. Go ahead.
It's not rambling. It's really important.
I'm trying. Well, yes, you are, because I just gave an example of something that contradicted what the guy who said. You're talking over me.
Okay.
I just gave an example of a situation that hypothetically happens every single day, where there's a dispute amongst people as individuals. So therefore, this is why governments are instituted to settle these disputes, and that's why we have a constitution, and that's why we have a governmental system in America that represents us as a people to settle these disputes, so we don't kill each other and kill or be killed like Mendelicon was talking about. Again, my original question was, hang on, I'm going to yield to you, Angel Lady Love. I'm going to yield to you. Now, my original question is, do you have a better system? This is what I put forth to everybody out there. Is there a better system than the United States Constitution and the Republic? Is there? Go ahead, Angel Lady Love. I yield to you now.
I will repeat every time the Declaration of Independence, which you misquote as the Constitution. Add that to the fact, I am telling you, we're people of the law. The indigenous, melanin-enriched original supreme beings in and on this earth as it is in heaven. This was designed for us and made by our ancestors. But then the other being who was cast out of the heavens, I'm talking about Lucifer, who is an archangel.
No, I'm not talking about Lucifer right now. I'm talking about today. I'm talking about the system of government we're supposed to have in place today.
Can you tell me that one of the people, the one that got the broken machine, he's angry now with his neighbor? That's
we need a new world order. We need a one world government. I could see that. We all need to be chipped.
The bottom line here is, what was the exchange?
Because nobody's going to listen. Nobody's sticking on topic here. I'm not talking about Lucifer in the Bible. That's not what this show is about. I'm talking about the system of government that we are to have in place today that governs us. Is there a better system out there that governs us other than the Republic?
No, we are the government. Our representatives are supposed to iron out any legalese, then present it to we the people, the government, in the general election, never in the primary, to get our consent. That's the Declaration of Independence. Now, I'm not going to repeat it because I've said it over and over, and you still keep talking about the Constitution. I even told you each state has their own Constitution. And if you are
each state each state has its own Constitution modeled after the original Constitution because each state is supposed to have its individual sovereign rights. That's what I'm talking about. There's a reason why each state has its individual constitution. Angel Lady Love, I don't want to talk about smart meters and go back to Lucifer and the fallen angels from 16 years ago. That's another show.
If you don't seem to understand it. But then we can get into Texas. Who says that they can...
All right, Angel Lady Love, John's been waiting for a while. Let's let John back on the phone here. John, what do you think about this conversation thus far here tonight? Did I bring up a good example, or can you bring up another example as to why we need the Constitution reinstated in America today?
Excuse me, Angel, 1 minute, please. Please. Okay, first thing is, let me go one thing at a time here. Okay, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence are two separate documents. The Declaration of Independence was written while we were under England's rule. Okay, proclaiming we were going to take back our country if they didn't give it to us. Okay, you need to read the Constitution. Okay, that was written after we were a free nation of free people without a government for our heads. You need to read it, Angel Love. You don't understand it because you haven't read it. Please take the time to read it so you can talk about it.
Little boy, don't direct that to me.
No, Angel Lady Love, you're right. He did not yield to you. He did not yield to you, Angel Lady Love.
I can go all up around you. Do not do that, okay?
Oh, God. All right, let me mute her, John. Let me mute her, John. Let me mute her. Angel Lady Love, he did not yield to you. Now, go ahead, John, and then Angel Lady Love. Go ahead, John.
Okay. Look, I was just giving you some wise advice. Read the documents. If you're going to talk about it, like discredit it, at least take the time to read it first and understand what it is. That's all I was recommending. Sorry that you got offended and going to choose not to because that only shows ignorance, and I don't see you as an ignorant person. So take the time to do it, please. Okay, and the next thing was, on your comment of the trading, the bartering, the system that is being proposed would eliminate bartering. Because you have the ability to go get whatever you want for free. You don't have to barter with your neighbor for something he has, because more than likely he's going to be willing to give it to you. If you need it at the moment, go ahead and take it. Use it. I'm not using it right now. You know? Because he can go to the store and pick up another one, and you can go to the store and pick up another one. There will be no cost for these items. Okay? These items will be shared. So we can all prosper and none of us suffer. Okay? You've got to first get out of the mindset that, no, I want to control all the resources, so people have to come and give me their stuff and their life to get what I got. Once you get out of that mindset and realize, hey, if we just all share, we all got everything. And if we all just provide for each other, we all live like kings. Nobody suffers. Nobody does without. You know, it's a mind. It's hard because we're indoctrinated. We're brainwashed. Everything since the day we're born has been attacking our core nature as human beings. To get along in peace. To love thy neighbor. They've been attacking all that. And it's hard to get your mind thinking, well, why ain't I thinking? It's good to talk about the Bible like if that's what you're thinking, but nobody thinks it. I mean, you know, and as far as religion, if you want to really look at religion, like Lady Love says, this nation is full of religious people. It's run by religion. Well, look what it's doing. It is the most warmongering nation in the world today. We are destroying and murdering more than anyone else in the world. We are destroying our own. Okay? So that's an argument to say, hey, let's all back away from religion. Let's get away from it completely. Let's burn all them goddamn books. That's all the argument does. If you say this is a nation of religion, that means we need to burn all religious books and get out of that evil shit. You know, I'm just pointing out the fact. I'm not here, you know, to get on anybody's case or anything. I'm just pointing out these little facts that if people open their eyes and say, wait a minute, let me think about this. This is a Christian nation, but look what the nation is doing. Do I want to be a Christian if this is what Christians do? Ask yourself that question and say, instead of saying, no, everybody tells me Christian is wonderful and great. No, look what they're actually doing. And say, now, do I want to listen to the lies that they're saying what Christians are, or do I want to pay attention to what's actually happening under that rule? You know? And that's what I do. I pay attention to what's happening. And I judge accordingly, not by what people say. You know, and I want to preach. It's easy to preach goodness and then do evil behind it.
All right, John, let Angel Lady Love reply to you for a couple minutes. Let's give her equal amount of time, because that's what I said I was going to do. And 305, I still see you on the phone line. So go ahead, Angel Lady Love, reply to John. Go ahead, without interruption.
No, I'm not going to respond
to
that young man. I'm not going to respond to him because he doesn't know how to communicate. The fact remains he's being disrespectful to me. I'm indigenous to this country, of the four corners of the planet Earth. How dare you try to interpret what I was trying to say, which I wasn't even able to. And then I'm going to tell me I need to read the Declaration of Independence. How dare you? That's what the whole problem is. You degenerate with your blessed kind of democracy, albino.
Hang on, John. Let her reply to you, please, and then I'll let you reply back. Go ahead.
Because you, just like the degenerates over there down south in that area that was taken over with the Canaanite conquistadors, eat people's organs, sacrifice, do hypnotism. You couldn't understand how are we so nice to you all, and you brought your damn diseases here. You brought all your infections here. You want me to talk? I'll tell you, you stunk like hell. We taught you how to wash your stinking ass. And I don't appreciate you, the High Chief Brother Joseph Gibson, talking about Mandela Khan talks out of the east end of an eagle's ass. First of all, he always says horse's ass. I am Princess Golden Eagle Lady of Revelation chapter 12. And I know that sounds, who can she be that? When you dig it, you will understand and overstand the fact that, hey, many of us have been here many times. And right now, you all have crapped up everything as you do. And guess what? The only common denominator, I keep telling you, is the fact that you...
All right. Angel Lady Love, I let you speak now. But again, we're getting off subject here. All you did in your comments was criticize John and criticize me. We're talking about the Constitution here tonight and the state of affairs that we're in America and what can we do to change it. And no one's offering any solutions. Instead, they're attacking each other. Everyone's attacking each other like they always do, which proves the Bible to actually be true. So I don't want to go back to Lucifer that fell down. I don't need to do that. I'm asking for solutions here tonight and understanding the times in which we live in today. And no one's giving me any solutions.
Because you don't let us.
Here's your solution, sir. You ready? No poverty, no crime, no police, You get it? No judges, no drain on the system, no prison system, because everybody's sharing and sharing alike, because this is America, and we're smart as Americans, and we can get this stuff done under direction and just a little bit of guidance. And then, hey, you don't even need a president anymore. All you need is a well-armed militia, and they'll take care of the rest. People get bored easily, and they will find something to supplement their time to get through life. They will find new ideas. They will find new solutions to old problems, or they'll even get better and bring old solutions to new problems. But we'll all get along. And the thing is, you work hard, but you work for yourself, and then you work for the person that pays you.
So
and then
hang on, Mr. President, let me interject. So let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God, the powers that are ordained by God. Is that what you're saying?
Nope.
What I'm trying to say is this, sir. Whoever therefore resists the power resists the ordinance of God, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Wilt thou then be afraid of the power? I mean, what would man fear if we all just lived and let live, and everyone got to do whatever the hell they want? I mean, what would man fear? Man would back in the days of Noah, this is how they lived. That's why God wiped out the entire earth through Noah's flood.
We fear what we've always feared: corrupt government. Government's been marauding armies. They govern you. Slave masters govern you.
But if thou do which is evil, be afraid. For he beareth not the sword in vain, for he is the minister of God, and revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. You telling me, sir, that as someone that's saying that you're running for president, so therefore we should fear you as president? Who's in charge? Who's in charge?
We are ascended, sir. We are ascended.
But we've tried that, Angel Lady Love. We've tried that. It was called the Tower of Babylon. Nimrod. Read the stories of Nimrod. You know, I don't want to turn this into a religious platform here tonight, but again, if we have no creator and we don't abide by a higher power or creator like the founders modeled the Constitution after, well, you know, we have to obey a document called the Constitution. We are endowed by our Creator to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. However, liberty is an individual responsibility. If we have no, hang on. If we have no responsibilities or accountability, we go back to what we were doing back before the days of Noah. Let's just all go crazy. We can all have fun. Everything's for free. And let's just do whatever we want to do and not answer to anybody. That's been tried before.
That's what the genetically engineered beings did, and dragged their women by the fur of their head and with their big old stick. That's in the genetic engineered part.
Man would conquer woman then again. We would go back to the days of the strong survive and the weak are weak.
We never fought over it because it's ours.
Well, then this gets back to my original argument here. Do we obey the Constitution and restore our republic? And the republic was founded for one specific reason, that we are endowed by our Creator, whatever your Creator may be, to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But it doesn't make us all gods. It doesn't make us to say we can do whatever we want. It doesn't say that what happens if one day my next door neighbor, I brought up an example earlier and no one gave me an answer. You know, what happens when there's a dispute between your neighbor? Who governs that? Who oversees that? Just love and let live? That's not going to happen. You know that. I know that. Come on.
You're running from lately 6,000 years, okay? I've been here for millions of years, all right? And
all right, you've been here for millions of years. All right, that's fine. All right.
Humankind, I call them anthropomorphic. The bottom line, you're robots. If you've not seen them, I've interacted with them in 2017 especially. And they know inner dimension, just like these Mexicans, just like the Chinese.
All right, so therefore, Angel Lady Love, who is your creator? Who is your creator then, as you being here for millions of years and you interacted with robots? Who's your creator? Is there any final solution or goal to your life and living in the flesh? Hang on, let me ask you a question, for goodness sake. When your body dies, where do you go, Angel Lady Love? Where do you go?
No such thing as death. That is why my greatest commander, high great chief standing there, the conquering Lion of Judah, the Lamb of the Most High, the Good Shepherd, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords,
all right, Angel Lady Love, hang on. You said there's no such thing as death. Can you offer me any evidence of that?
Oh, I've seen them all. I'm humbled, yes. Let me first of all say this. 1 John chapter 4, verse 17 and 18. I already told you, perfect love casts out fear. That's number one. Number two, I gave you, my highest commander showed you in the New Testament, John chapter 11, verse 25 and 26. Why not read it from the old King James Version? Before he says that, in John chapter 10:10, he clearly says, we're here to have life and have it more abundantly. And talking about paying taxes, when his apostles had to pay taxes and they didn't have any money, he told them to go get the first fish they saw, and in the mouth of the fish was the exact money that they needed to pay for the taxes. When we realize, he said greater things we'll be able to do. But the bottom line, the ones that are supposed to do that have fallen prey and got tricked by the ones who were being obedient. One thing I can say, you all have been obedient to your makers. That's why you really all think that you're in charge of the melon and the rich people. But wait a minute. Prior to the original, you got other beings that came here that had sex with the women. You have the
all right, Angel Lady. Okay, all right. All right, you're talking about, you just said John chapter 11. You said the meaning of John, and John chapter 11 says, Jesus answered, there are not 12 hours in our Lord's day, and now reached its 11th hour, having till now walketh in a day. He would not mistime the remaining and more critical part of his work, which would be as fatal, he says, as omitting it altogether. For if man, so he speaks, putting himself under the same great law of duty as all other men, if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth because there is no light in him. That was John chapter 11, actually. So I don't understand what you meant, John chapter 11. I don't understand.
John chapter 11, verse 25 and 26. John, he went to go resurrect his brother-in-law, Lazarus.
Okay, all right. John chapter 25, Jesus said, I am the resurrection, the life, the whole power to restore. Impart and maintain life resides in me. So what Jesus is saying, believe in me and you will never die. Hang on, Angel Lady Love. You just made a statement here, and I'm reading you from the Bible here. This isn't a Bible show here. We were trying to get to the Constitution and understanding why the Constitution is what it is and how to restore the Republic. But to respect you as a caller here, hang on. Jesus said, I am the resurrection and the life. The whole power to restore, impart, to maintain life resides in me. This grand saying can be conceived. He that believeth in me, though dead, shall he live. That is the believer's death. Shall be swallowed up in life, and his life shall never sink into death, as death comes by sin. It is his to dissolve it. And as his life flows through his righteousness, his to communicate and eternally maintain it. And see Romans 5:21. The temporary separation of the soul and the body is here regarded as not even interpreting, much less impairing the new and everlasting life imparted by Jesus. To his believing people, believest thou this? canst thou take this sin? Very simple. I just read you John chapter 25, 11, verse 25. So I don't understand your point, Angel Lady Love. Are you saying you're Christ? Because Jesus is saying there that he is the Christ and there is eternal life by believing in him. So we're if we want to do a theology show, we can
closing
do that.
comments, and the matriarch wants to go first. Closing comments, John, and the matriarch wants to go
first.
Closing
comments here are coming up here, but first of all, we did not solve the problem here tonight. We did not because we started.
It's time for closing comments.
That was kind of like a new
I don't need you to tell me how to run
version.
my show. Just take it easy there, okay, brother? Take it easy. First of all, Mendelicon, your matriarch is evolved around the religion itself. That's what the matriarch is evolved around.
You can testify all you want, but closing comments. You and Angel Lady Love are Bible lovers, and that has nothing to do with the People's Revolution.
We're not going to talk over each other here. We're not going to talk over each other. I promise
You
one of my
say it's
listeners
not time for closing comments, Joe, but you...
All right, you're muted, Mendelicon. You're muted. I'll bring you back on when you decide to have a cooler head. Angel Lady Love, stay clean, please, and please. We're not here to argue with each other.
I don't need the low life. The bottom line...
All right, you're muted too, Angel. Okay, you're muted. There we go. Okay. We're not going to talk over each other. We started off this podcast here to understand the times in which you live in today. Now, we went all over the place again. Here we are. We're in America today. We all live in America, most of us that are listening here. Now, international callers, there are a couple here, but they cannot get in because I cannot take international callers unless they pay to get in. Now, we do have people from England and around the world that are listening. Now, can I call them? Yes, I can. But anyway, we are here talking about America. And I asked everyone in the beginning of the show, if the Constitution is not the greatest document ever written, can you offer me another document that will solve the problems that we're facing here in America today? We see what's happening in America today. We're in chaos. We have more division than any other time in history, even before the Civil War. And we're not getting anywhere. We see that with people calling into this show here tonight. We're not getting anywhere. We're not making progress. We're not working together. Instead, we want to talk about our own personal individual beliefs and then criticize others for what they believe in. That's not going to get us anywhere. I went over this on the beginning of the show in case anyone was not listening. Now, if anyone wants to have closing thoughts here on the podcast, I will give them that. However, again, I asked in the beginning of this podcast here tonight, we have a broken system. We have a system that's been hijacked. The Republic has been hijacked. Our governmental system, our human government that we have installed and instituted through our founding fathers, through our Republic, since 1775, 1776, has been broken. And it has been broken, obviously, by listening to even the callers here tonight. We have a Constitution, a great document that we are all endowed by our Creator to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. However, we're using that life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness to promote our own personal agendas, and we're killing each other to do that. That is not what the founders intended. They wanted us to build upon it. Now, was there slavery back in 1776? Yes, there was. But the founders gave us a document to overcome that. And then we went into a Civil War period, and starting in 1862, 1861. And if you read the congressional records of those days, slavery was never mentioned. It was all about individual freedom and independent states governing themselves to overcome tyranny from what? A monetary system, a banking cartel, which was controlled and owned and operated by the Rothschilds and others. Now, we can get into history, but we can't go too far back into history. We can't do that. A lot of people just want to talk about their individual beliefs and what they believe in. But let's examine facts. Facts is we're in trouble here in America today. We are in trouble. Can anyone out there in their closing thoughts here, and we'll go into overtime here through closing thoughts. New callers won't be let in, so if you're on the phone line, if you hang up, you won't get back in. Can anyone give us a solution here to understanding the times in which we live in today and maybe help us restore our founding documents? Our founding documents. Yes, Mandela Khan, the founding fathers founded the Constitution. They wrote it. We live by it today, supposedly. But it's been twisted and turned and screwed up so bad because everyone thinks they have the right answer. Instead, all we have to do is obey the Constitution. All we have to do is live by the Constitution, and we'll be okay. But the problem is that everyone wants something, thinking, well, I deserve what my next-door neighbor has, and we're all going to get along, and everyone's going to be free. And, that's not going to work. It's mankind, womankind's nature to hate one another and be jealous of one another. It's been happening for thousands of years. It's not going to change. Simple as that. But we have to have a governmental system. And I brought up an example here before I open up the phone lines again. I brought up an example where my neighbor has something that I want, and I have something he wants. But yet there was a discrepancy there I brought up as a hypothetical situation. And we know these situations happen every single day because people kill each other over these situations every single day. But nobody gave me an answer. Instead, they want to talk about Lucifer 10 million years ago and this and that. What I'm trying to do is talk about real life, real times, and understand the times in which you live in today. And that's the point of this show. And I think we'll get there eventually. But it's going to take a lot of arguing, a lot of debating, a lot of discussion. But that's our First Amendment, isn't it? That's what the founders gave us, a First Amendment right to talk and voice our opinions, yell it at the top of our lungs to talk. And they also gave us a Second Amendment for those who want to hurt us because we want to voice our opinions. And they also gave us a Third Amendment. They gave us the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the Sixth Amendment, the Seventh Amendment, and they gave us the Eighth Amendment. We should be free from cruel and unusual punishment. And right now we're suffering cruel and unusual punishment by who? The system that's been hijacked, that are the corporation, the United States corporation. We're being brainwashed. Angel Lady Love brings that up. Those are great points she brings up. But that's not what this show was about tonight. We can't talk about smart meters. We can't talk about the chemicals in the food. But all that comes into play. It does. But like I said in the beginning of this show, until we chop the head of the snake off, then we can focus on all the other issues that we face. And we can talk about it through the Constitution, through our First Amendment. Okay? We can voice our opinions and listen to one another. And if that don't work and someone wants to kill John out there or kill Mandela Khan, guess what? Mandela Khan has a Second Amendment right to protect himself. We don't need the government out there telling us, no, you don't have a right to protect yourself. No, you don't have a right to self-defense, because we're endowed by our Creator to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And those amendments are backed up through the Constitution of the United States of America. And there we go, when we have a system that's corrupted and disgusting like it is today, we have what? Our First Amendment, and what we're trying to do here tonight, but we also have that Second Amendment. But we need to restore our Constitution. And right now we're not under the Constitution, and that's my point I'm trying to bring to you people out there, all of you. We don't have a Constitution anymore. It's been hijacked by the money changers, by the Federal Reserve banking cartel, by your criminal corporate politicians. All right. Let me go to Mandela Khan requested to go first here. So closing thoughts, everybody. Press the number 1. Closing thoughts to understanding the times in which you live in today. Everyone will get a chance. I know it says only 11 minutes left, but we can go into overtime. New callers will not be able to get in. So press number 1 now if you want some closing thoughts to talk about what you want to talk about and understanding the times we're in today. I'm going to give everyone a couple minutes here to talk. So Mandela Khan requested to go first, so I'm going to give him a chance to go first. Go ahead, Mandela Khan. You're first.
The Voodoo Child, yours truly, is in the house with the closing comments of Live and Let Live in One Love. Part 2 comes after Joe goes off, and I want everyone to call in. You will hear my voice. That's 929-477-2425. Again, 929-477-2425. A different format than what we have here, but you will remember what you forgot, because my assignment is to assemble 11 million people in the Genesis to organize 100 million in the United States of America under the matriarch, which is Class Action 567. There is no race in this country. There's not a black race or a white race. It's a wrong race versus a right race. And the right race is live and let live in one love, which Joe Gibson will tell you over and over again, it's not going to happen. And then you have Angel Eagle Lady Love, who speaks that her book, her tenets, she put this forth, but it has nothing to do with the matriarch. The matriarch is the transition of power under the Ethiopian empire of Class Action 567. They are not black, they're not all men. The people's bloodless revolution will take place because we cannot be jailed or killed, all of us, if we avert a race war, if we avert a civil war. My assignment was to prevent those two catastrophes. And if you go to social media, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Blog Talk, not Block Talk, BLOCK, you will see the Ankh, the symbol of life that is gradually surrounding the cross, the symbol of death. But if you go to FCC, Radio and TV, Fox, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, 10, 6, and 3, BET, all that, you're going to hear nothing but about the cross and God. God is a terrible motherfucker, and I can prove it. And I don't want to.
All right, watch your language, Mandela. 30 seconds.
Okay.
Come on.
Listen,
watch your language.
Let me say
please.
this. Let me say this. If you're a Hebrew Israelite, more Muslim or Christian, I'm here to tell you, I'm not desecrating the Creator. I'm helping you remember what you forgot, because I can prove that this concept coming from the Roman Catholic Church, the King of England, and the founding fathers who set up an international Ponzi scheme that they created the World Bank, IMF, and the Federal Reserve, and they couldn't do it with the English and the Irish. The English and the Irish was at war for 800 years. But the Irish could not be defeated by the English, but they made a deal.
I gave you 30 seconds. Come on now.
Okay.
I'll give you
30
20
seconds. 30 seconds. The English and the Irish is an older 800-year-old struggle, but the deal is that the illegal alien European invader immigrants got together. They did not break with England. They did not break with Italy. They did not break with Ireland. They did not break with Greece and Rome. They joined forces and said that we are going in hope signal winke in this sign we conquer. So when I said religion is not revolution, I mean that concretely. And why I gave the
Mandela Khan, I gave you 30 seconds. All right, I gave you 30 seconds.
Don't forget those numbers. Don't forget those numbers tonight. 929-477-2425.
All right, Mandela Khan, I got a bunch of callers that want closing thoughts to the show here tonight. Come on now, let's be respectful of everybody. 708.
All right, okay. Much love, much respect to everybody here. Much love, much respect to everybody
708.
here.
Go ahead. All right, Mandela Khan. All right. 708. Go ahead. You're live. 708. Area code 708. You want to say something here before we wrap up the show? Here's your chance. Okay, going once, going twice. All right. 708 didn't want to say nothing. All right, maybe his line is jammed. I don't know. 925, go ahead. 2 minutes.
Greetings, Joe, my friend. How are you? Mandela Khan, the chosen son of the matriarch. Greetings, high heaven to you and all listeners
Thank
out
you,
there.
Queen Supreme.
All right, Mandela Khan, let her speak. God.
It's Akshita Veda, and I missed the show, and I'm popping on late, but I do want to say, nonetheless, the matriarch is about the rising of women, the rising of mothers coming together to form the village in which it takes to raise a child. But we cannot forget about the sons. We cannot forget about the fathers, because the mother, the father, and the child is what makes or creates the true Holy Trinity, which is what where we should be, where our mindset should be, in building a community around love, not hate. And so, and that's going to take time, and that's going to take a lot of communication, open communication, and staying out of our personal feelings about what we want and what we expect. We need to let go of expectations and allow love to flow as we grow. So I just want to say, the movement is moving. The more we continue to have this conversation, the more we continue to put out this positive vibration of energy and open lines of communication, we are sure to go much higher than where we are at this point right now. So I just wanted to come on and say thank you, because and say that little piece right there, that we are in the total recall of the Ethiopian matriarch, and we need to keep on moving and keep on building and keep on growing and keep on uniting. And so that's what it's all about. And that's all I want to say tonight. I thank you, and
all right,
I'm still here.
All right, thank you so much. I want John actually be the last of the closing thoughts here tonight, John, because he's been hanging in there since the beginning of the show. So first private caller, go ahead, and then Angel Lady Love, go ahead, private caller. You want to have some closing thoughts to the podcast here tonight? All right. Okay. Obviously, that's not interesting. All right, Angel Lady Love, go ahead. You get 2 minutes. Go ahead. 2 minutes. Go ahead. And then 305.
Need to know.
Go ahead.
Oh my God. First, I need to know what was the last 4 digits of that number. Mandela Khan said 929477. What else?
2425. 2425.
2425. And
all right, Angel Lady Love, you got 2 minutes. Come on now.
Okay. First of all, when I give you biblical scripture, I ask you humbly, do not use New International Version. You must read the old King James Version. If I want you to read Do Ye Rings, I will tell you Do Ye Rings. But in the Old Testament, or if you will, the New Testament of the old King James Version, John chapter 11, verse 25 and 26, when Jesus came to resurrect his brother-in-law Lazarus that had been dead 4 days, stinking and wrapped up like a mummy, and he wept because his wife and his sister-in-law couldn't dig it. But the bottom line here is, he said in John chapter 11, 25 and 26, now I'm not reading this, but it clearly says something about not only that he's the resurrection and so forth, but those who die will live again. Those who live will never die. Believe thou this. That's number 1. I gave you 1 John chapter 4, verse 17 and 18 of the old King James Version. It clearly says, perfect love casts out fear. The opposite of love is fear, not hate. The opposite of life is hate, and this is why. But yet they want organs. These degenerates that are in South America and the like of Mexico, and they were up on this side of what we now call California, Utah, Nevada, Texas, and so forth. We didn't try to put them out after they made the treaty, but moreover, the reason why they went well with the conquistador Canaanites is because they were into the same thing of eating body parts, using all kind of superstitions and casting spells, all of that is in violation. And the bottom line also, they have in correlation the fact that they're genetically engineered. Now here, they use my tenets for the Declaration of Independence, but more emphatically, the top 10 amendments of the Constitution of the United States of America. You were right. But number 4 goes on to talk about we have the right to privacy. Number 8 says cruel and unusual punishment will not be inflicted. You know what some degenerates will say? Oh, that's only if you're in prison.
All right, Angel Lady Love, 10 seconds. I got to move on.
Now, let me ask you something about the 10 seconds. Does that include when you butt in and start talking?
This is your final word.
Angel Lady Love, I'm giving everyone a couple minutes here to wrap up the show. I know you got a lot to say, but come on.
We are sending, you will soon, many children are seeing it. All these ones that's coming up, I'm telling you, and if any hallucinogens, marijuana, causes men to get gynecomastia ever since I investigated the 70s. Now you got both men and women getting breast cancer. There's no reason to run for a cure. All of your foods
All right,
are
Angel
messed
Lady
up.
Love, I give you a little bit more than 10 seconds to be polite because I know you've been on here a while on the show. I don't like to shut people down. Excuse me. But 3:05, you've been waiting, and then I want John here to wrap up the podcast here tonight. So John's got a lot to say. So 2 minutes, 3:05. Go ahead. And then 4:19. I'm sorry, 4:19's been waiting too. So 3:05. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Maurice Young once again. I used to go by the name of Trick Daddy over in Miami. Used to be a rapper. I woke up to the Federal Reserve crap. Need to end the Fed. And one thing I want to ask is about this matriarch. If it's like Lady Angel Love, then man, I need a gun to blow my head away because man, I can't stand that just talking and talking. But if it's like the other girl that just comes in.
All right. Let him speak. He's got a minute left. Come on now.
He's talking against me, and he doesn't even know me.
All right, Angel Lady Love, come on now. All right, you're muted because you're interrupting his closing thoughts. Go ahead.
Keisha Rivera or something like that. I mean, she cool, man. She got a good head on her shoulder. And if the matriarch is like her, then man, I want to listen. You know what I'm saying? But
all right. Thank you, sir. All right, I got to wrap you up, too. All right, 419. Go ahead, 419. Go ahead, and then John wraps up the show. Good Lord. Go ahead, 419. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. You hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You got 2 minutes, and then John.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, if I'm able to get into this president-elect situation, I have determined what the true enemy of the people is, and that's poverty. You can't defeat an enemy you won't acknowledge. Poverty is the true enemy of the nation. And when that money, as we have been all psychologically manipulated to worship, that doggone paper, which made us a nation of garbage collectors, once we can get rid of that, we can move forward with so many better things. People will not sit idly by and let their lives just waste away. They will be busy doing productive things because it's in human nature just to do better and to be better. And as president, I'll let everybody's light shine. And they will shine brightly, and we will be the beacon for the rest of the world. And there won't be a nation out there that won't follow what we're doing. That's the way it is. And to catch me, 419-953-0159. I am Mark Johnson, the voice of reason, and I'll be out there and I'll be seeing you. Mr. Son, take it away.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. Hey, at least you gave your number out. You're not hiding behind a private number. That's pretty good. I respect that, actually. John, you've been waiting patiently. You've been polite. I tried to take your advice here about the platform here tonight. We won't be doing another show until next Saturday, most likely. So, John, go ahead. You got the floor for a couple minutes. Go ahead. Wrap it up for us.
All right, man. Let's go back to the beginning, the Constitution, which it was supposed to be about. Angel Lady Love, I apologize you took offense. I'm just trying to get you to read the Constitution is all I was suggesting. Okay? In fact, everybody should read it. It is a one-page document. It encompasses the Bill of Rights and the Constitution of the United States of America. I challenge people out there to find it online because you can't find it online because the government is hiding the truth from you. Because once you read it and understand it, you'll understand it is more than all the gold in the world because it encompasses your freedom and how to stop the government. It tells you in detail that you are the power, that we are the power. It gives all the power to us, the people. Need to know this. This is the biggest thing they're hiding from us, in my opinion, is the Constitution. So anybody out there that thinks they can find it, okay, online, the actual Constitution, you bring it to my page, John, John, Saun, Saun, on Facebook. Look for the profile pic that has the number 2 on it. That's the one I'm on right now.
He got to fight me because you got to keep America.
All right, hey, Mandela, come on now. Let him finish up. Come on now. Let's be respectful.
I was on mute. I'm sorry. I was on mute. Sorry, John. I'm sorry.
No problem, Miguel. It's all good, man. We're all on the same side when it comes to it. But one thing, I know all government is inherently evil. That's why that Constitution was written and didn't give any power over the people to the government. The government has no power over us legally. They have taken this power illegally. That's why you can't read the actual founding documents to this country. And yes, the Bill of Rights is an instruction manual on how to maintain our freedom, the First and Second Amendment. If you want to read the whole thing, understand that. The Declaration of Independence, a very important document, and I do agree with you on that, Lady Love, but it's not everything. It's only the beginning. The finalizing of it is the Constitution, and if anybody can get out there and find it, I've got it on my page, but it's so illegible. You know, it's such fine print, the one that I got. I got a copy of it, and it's actually got to get blown up and fine-tuned, which I haven't done yet, which I need to go do. That's my fault. But Constitution is what we have to focus on. Mr. Gibson says here. Because if you guys learn the truth about it, you're going to freak out. Everybody will freak out. And this Constitution actually holds worldwide because it is a set of principles. It's not because it's written, but it's what's written in that document that will impress you if you can understand it. Okay? I'm just impressed that they wrote it at that time, and now people are so dumb they don't understand the principles of that document. They can't because they've been indoctrinated. They've been poisoned. They've been dumbed down by the administration. And with that said, I'm going to yield to the host here so he can end the show.
Well, I thank you. I thank you, John.
Very beautiful.
Yep. All right. I thank Mandela Khan as always. We'll do the next show. I know a lot of you guys pay attention to me on Facebook, but thank you for spending your time with me on this platform. Archiveda, thank you for tuning in late. I appreciate you being a friend. Mandela Khan, you also. John, you also. Angel Lady Love, I appreciate you being a friend. Hey, look, we got to work together here. It's the only way we're going to change things. But we did a little better tonight than last night.
Hey, Joe.
So good night, everybody.
Hey, Joe,
take care.
Quick response.
Yeah.
Right now,
go ahead. You want to say something real quick?
It seems like the other number, it seems like they're not there. They were supposed to be there at 9, but they got that theme music. So I'm not sure what the producer decided for tonight. But if it's not on tonight, don't worry about it. We'll be back next Saturday and understand the times we live in today.
Thank you, Mandela Khan. I appreciate that. As always, take care and be safe out there, and just keep up the good work, waking people up. We got to do it the right way, and that's what we're doing through the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. Good night, everybody. Take care.
Absolutely.